Karibuni sana. Tunaanza. Mr. Mudhamia from Meru County.
Wilson kutoka Nyandarua.
Julius Owino, Kilifi County.
Benjamin, Bungoma County.
God, Nairobi County.
John Jenga from Nyandarua County.
Maina Mwangi, Nyandarua County.
Jim Jeru, Meru County.
Steven Mwangi, Murang'a County.
Karibu Martin Mwangi, Murang'a County.
Karibu.
Davis Kimani, Nairobi.
Karibu.
Wilfred Kiari, Nakuru.
Karibu.
Mogedi Jero from Meru County.
Ula Meru County.
Karibu.
Ben Langat, Nakuru County.
Ken Kore, Nakuru County.
Lawrence, Kericho County.
Karibu.
Mariken, Nakuru County.
Saisi Viga County.
Karibu.
Anampio, Mabete.
Karibu.
Meru County.
Karibu. So one thing about Ulibamba sana kwa hii trading, it makes me happy. We have a representation of the whole country. That is, you know, actually, when we are starting this trading, it was set for Nakuru, and then we moved to other regions, which is still okay. But the representation that I usually see here, it's the whole country. Yeah? It's from all the regions in the country, of which is it's very good. Yule jamaa wa avocado leo hajafika lakini
Barabarani.
that guy but he's out. So today the topic, as we had said earlier, it's breeding, yeah? Breeding. So we have discussed management, we have discussed diseases, we will be breeding. Then we are still going to discuss feeding, and finally mathematics to do with dairy farming. That is called dairynomics. Leo. Our facilitator is here. Alifika mapema sana. Anakaa tu mmoja yenye so actually. Leo, but he'll take us through the topic. And I believe he has a lot for you. Breeding is that we had said influences a lot when it comes to production. So without further ado, I think the best thing to do is for us to start. So I'll let him introduce himself. Yep. And to take us through the first topic.
Mjamboni.
Hatujambo.
Kama vile mmesikia, inaitwa Jambrek. Nafanya kazi Kabete. Kule Catholic kwa AI. Right. So our business is genetics. Kwa leo nifika hapa ndio niweze kufundisha maneno. Maneno ya management, ndio ni? Of dairy animals, ndio?
Yes.
Umefanya hiyo? How to feed them very well.
Not
Kama not yet mtapio kwa mwalimu. Ndio hapo mwalimu anastaki. Mtapio kwa yeye. But our main topic today will be basically on genetics, but of course it cuts across from keeping of animals, how to start, how to use the genetics, pattern interpretation, registration, the importance of record keeping across. Because breeding, you can't separate breeding from record keeping. When I record, what record do you keep? Record, yes, next.
Expenses.
Expenses, yes. Feeding,
Health.
health,
Weight.
weight, examination, another
Vaccination.
vaccination. Nobody keeps breeding records. Just here, which is very important today. So, as part of the program, therefore, when you have a cow, for example, even mwalimu hapa the way he started, mwalimu kama angekuwa kongesikia kusema alienda kanunua ng'ombe huko, and you know no farmer sells his best animals, si kweli? Ile anauza kama inamchokesha, yani mmoja doesn't give a lot of milk, But then he goes and breeds them very well, right? You can see where he is now. What's the secret? The secret is breeding and good record keeping, right? And of course, the way you feed your animals. But not any other time, not just feeding the way these animals are eating here, is keeping or, bringing up a calf from day one, is what is happening. So therefore, I will start by saying, when you have an animal, let's say you are small scale farmers, you have a few of your animals, let's say you have 2, 3, 4, you need to know your animal. First of all, you have to identify your animals. Then, if you never bred them yourself, you bought them from your neighbors or from wherever, you have a starting point. There are those people who go for very well bred animals. You can come to a farm like this one, you buy your animal, and start at a very high level. But even that small scale farmer who can't afford that very well bred, high producing animal, you can still bring up yours, breed yours, right? And still be able to reach at this level where marine is, and be able to produce a lot of milk from them. But you need to use good genetics, and you have to keep good records. So those are the two very important things you need to do. Therefore, because breeding is basically for you to benefit from breeding, or what we mean by breeding is actually selecting what you want to be the parents of the next generation of animals, right? That's basically what is breeding. Selecting, identifying, and saying this is what will be the father of my future animal. This is what is going to be the mother of my future animal. So if you have an animal A, you have to use a bull B to mate the two and they come up with the F1, right? This is the first offspring or the daughter out of this combination. Therefore, for these two individuals to have, for this F1 to be a better future animal, genetics are very critical, and they will account for about 26%. Right? 20 to 26%. Genetics is what is very important. So this one being the sire, you need to identify a very good sire. Of course, you have identified your cow. Supposing you have only one, there are those who use a lot of bull there. There are those who don't want to really go there challenges, but there are those best cow. Assuming you have one of the best cow, you want to breed from that. So you know the potential of this kind of situation. Yeah. Now you need a good bull, and for them, for these two individuals to produce F1, which is superior than the parents, then you need to use a sire which is also superior, because these two parents will give you 50%. Yeah, this one will have 50%, and this other one will have 50% of that, right? And for this 50%, for you in breeding, for you to get an advantage for this animal to be superior, then you need two individuals which have got different genetic potential, right? Something like that. You see? You need, let's say, A to be that, and then B to be. This is what we call advantage of heterosis, or advantage of this is superior, because this one will give 50%, see? Combined with this, so assuming this one will be that, and this one will contribute to that. So how will be the F1 here? It will be a combination of this and this. See? This 50 will be there, this 50 will be there. So obviously, this individual will be better than the mother, possibly as equivalent to the sire or thereabout. So you need one individual to be superior, so that 50% plus this little 50%, when handed together, becomes superior than a parent. That's how. So that's what is breeding in simple words. So when you use two individuals which are the same, what do you expect? There will be no change, because if one character was, let's say, 4 feet, another one was 4 feet, so you get 2 feet here, another 2 feet there, and it will still be 4, right? But supposing you want a character who is 4 feet tall, if we are considering height, and you put a character who is 6, and it's going to contribute 50% of his height, so that will be 3 plus 2. So you are going to have a character who will be 5 at least. That's how. Yes. So this is breeding. And therefore you need to, because you know this, you have already this. You have the A, that's the mother. What you are bringing in from outside is the sire. And this is where you have the advantage of selecting. Because here, the cow, you might be limited, you might be having 1 or 2 cows. But you can have variety of the bulls available for you. So you do what? You select the best. Therefore, you don't go for a bull in the village. To use, because you will be limited. That bull, whatever potential it has, you can't improve. So you need a superior bull, yeah, to identify, and then come mate to this to get that advantage of heterosis. And there you will be progressing. But then you need to keep records, because you need to know who is the pedigree of this, the mother. You need to know the pedigree of the father, so that you don't end up with what we call inbreeding in the future, because you want to use different individuals, because you know inbreeding will always reduce the genetic potential of the offspring. However, you need different individuals. So when they are different, like when I was showing you the height here, this is different in terms of the genes these individuals has. So if A has got very different genes from B, then you are likely to get a character F1 who is different in terms of various aspects or various traits. But when these fellows are related, then there is no addition, or there is no additive genes. It's that way it's okay. That's how individuals are related. And that's why we don't marry your very close relatives. Yeah. And this one Mungu aliweka. Isipokuwa akaweka hata sisi tunajua hiyo na ujuaji wa human being, but even in all animals, they are very, there is a way they avoid that. So this now brings us to why breed and why keep records. So in AI, therefore, when you get a catalog, you identify the bull to use, you need to keep records so that you are assured that you know who are you using next. Reason is because best bulls worldwide, you'll find them everywhere. Everybody is striving to increase productivity. You go to the US, you go to Europe, you go to Kenya here, everybody is trying to look for the best bull. And the best bull is used worldwide, across the board, because with AI, there's what we call genetic migration. A best bull in the US can be used in this country, because you can get the semen, right, through AI, and they use AI. So, therefore, we need records to be able to tell that bull you are using. So, kama watu wala wanatoka Meru, ukienda mpate one bull from provided by AI Middle Central Dairy, for example, yeah? Yeah? Don't say this bull is talk of Middle Central, then next day there's somebody else selling semen somewhere. Nasema hii ni ya kutoka huko. Somebody comes with a semen from Germany, useme huyu ni Germany, they are different. You'll be shocked. you may find, if you read behind the pedigree of that animal, you will find there could be a relationship. That's how. Because everybody is looking for the best. Right? I will give you an example. There's a bull called Super Sire who is from the US. This bull has been top for a very long time. The war of 2017, 2018, 2019 is only now he's being pulled down because he has become too old. He has more than 30,000 daughters worldwide, and he is everywhere, even in Nairobi, Kenya here. We have sons of this bull. Therefore, you go and find a bull from US. If you read down, you'll find there's a Super Sire somewhere around the line. Yeah? Then you find another one. You say, hii ni ya kutoka US. Alafu come to Kenya here, upate mbegu ya kutoka Calgary, ukisema this is what we call Rocco. So that's what people say. Rocco. Eh? You say hii ni Rocco. It might not be different. It's the same. Right? So that son of Super Sire in the US is 50% base. Kuja hapa pia, the same. So I'm trying to emphasize the importance of keeping pedigree records. I hope you understand pedigree.
Yes.
Pedigree is the history. History. Anything recorded. History of the parentage of an animal which is recorded, not what is in your head. Nasema hii anajua huyu baba yake alikuwa Fred baba yake. If you are not there by Fred, then that pedigree doesn't exist. You know why I'm saying it has to be recorded. Recorded, traceable, retrievable rather. You can be able to say to somebody, yeah, this is so and so, right? Yes. So pedigree is very important. If you want to do any meaningful breeding, then you need to keep records of milk. That's performance records. Because that performance records will guide you on the way to move next. If you want that animals in your farm, for example, how do you know who is the best in terms of production?
The records.
You have to go by records. Records which can be shown by somebody else can be able to use, so that future decision on breeding will be based on those records. And of course should be recorded down. And then when you record the milk, there are so many things apart from the volumes which you are likely to come up with. For example, there's an animal which can start very high production, but for a very short time. The moment it gets in calf, inapunguza. The others which are very persistent, they might be producing little milk, let's say 20 liters, but they milk 20 liters with the type of feed you give for like 6 months. Another one will give you that for the first 2 months, that month start coming down. That liter for 2.5 months, or 20 liter for 6 months.
20.
Yeah. So from milk recording, you can be able to deduce a lot of decisions. Unaweza kusema huyo anaanguka mara moja. For example, me and a cow, a Frisian cow, which was very good fertility. Kushika mimba ikilia tu kipandishwa, no repeat. And when it comes, it starts very high. But for the first 45, 50 days, first 2 months, for example, it's doing very well, and it comes on it again. Soft conceives. I'm telling you, a month after conceiving, the milk starts going down. Yeah. By the time it is like 9 months, it's dry. So when it is going to wait for, steaming, the branded in as milk. You see? So when I do the totaling of the milk, it is not a very good, okay, fertility in terms of expanding the hand is good, but the milk is not there. You see? And another one, I used to have a Asha cow, which I was milking 23, 24 liters for 7 months, non-stop, never sick. But conceiving there, I have to struggle. Yeah, they will go even for 4 months without conceiving, but the moment it conceives, no effect, it does very well, I used to dry it at 15, so that I can carve next. You see? So to me, that was my, in terms of production, it was not very ahead for 23 on average, but you see it is a good animal because of the persistence. You see? So from recording, you can be able to tell which are the best animals to use for your future breeding. So you can see the importance of records. Yeah, you not just say 30, 20. There are those which also follow sick very frequently. There are those which are very vulnerable to sickness because we have high production. There are those who are affected by that miracle, will be affected by the quality of things you are giving. You see? So ile kumekuwa na kiangazi, chakula imekuwa mbaya, the nipping grass is a bit hard, dry, which animals are still producing. So from the records, the way the graph fluctuates up and down, you can be able to make very good farm decisions. That's how, in terms of that. Now, when you are selecting a bull, the semen to use, what do you look for? In Kabete, in our breeding programs, because I work at the AI center whereby we produce bulls for this country, our interest is to give the country good genetics, good quality animals, which an average farmer will be able to manage. Right? We know from experience, very thorough animals, they are not adding value to our systems because we're trying to get animals which are very friendly to our environment. That's our environment, I mean, not the weather, not the temperatures and so forth. Environment in breeding involves how our level of feeding systems. How good are we? What kind of things we supply? What is available? There are some places where they feed animals on Busan, high protein feeds. There are places where they feed, like in the US, they feed on maize, only maize silage, Busan silage, and you see that the performance of the animal is very good. That means the environment is well taken care of. Pia kwetu utakuta napier grass, very tall, very dry, which is 2 meters tall. Jafkata you give the animals. Nutrition-wise, you are the expert that what nutrient is it getting from there. So we are saying the kind of environment. Those are the environment in production, in dairy. I said 26% genetics. The rest is all those combinations. The feeds, when the animal calved down, how does the animal stay in the barn, come up, does it stand on the stone throughout, is there water, is the tank where the animal is taking water in, is there consistency in the quality of feed the animal is given? Because when it comes to animals, you don't keep on changing feeds every day. The animals do very well when there's persistence and the uniformity, consistency in the quality of feeds. Because you give the animal feed today, you get result in 3 days. The moment you keep on fluctuating like this, it interferes in the stomach just that the animal doesn't respond well. So the animal requires consistency in the way you do things. If you have a routine of feeding your animals, you feed in the morning, the time you milk, don't just keep on changing. Don't milk today at 3, the next day you are milking at 5. That kind of fluctuations in the way you manage your animals, you end up losing a lot of milk. So that's how. So that's all. And the weather, of course, that is all environment. Also, the environment includes the time of calving, because we know when the animals calve during there's a lot of rain, there's a lot of fields, green, a lot of pastures growing under there, the animals will do very well. When it is very dry, of course, you know the mosquito work. So all that, how you treat your animals in the barn, is very important. Are they comfortable where they sleep? they get the correct amount of water? Is it green? Is the feed today rotten, tomorrow is okay? No, all those, they affect the performance of the animal. Therefore,